Yeah, I'm a little winded right now. Oh man, I'm a little winded. I'm a little winded. Ripping and running all over the place. Oh man. Yeah, I had 5 appointments today. And welcome, party people. As always, this is your man Griff. Oh my goodness. Goodness. I am here. I am here. I am here. And we just gonna take our time and try to unpack all of this here. Yeah. We're gonna take our time and try to unpack all of this. I still gotta print some docs for my closing tomorrow morning. And then, matter of fact, right now I gotta upload a scan. So we let some people roll on up in here and feel free to ask any questions that you got on your mind about the notary business or just business in general. And I'll be more than happy to answer. Um yeah, I had to do a quick scan. So now and upload those to the portal, and then I am done with that. Yeah, today was this whole week been busy. I'm not gonna lie to you. This week has been busy, appointments dropping, all of that kind of stuff. Yep, I'm here, man. I'm here. I ain't going nowhere. What's going on, Greg? Good to see you. I did see that thing on TikTok, the Trump thingy. I did see it and everything. That was funny. All right. So which company was? I don't even know what company this was. I did this thing for. Oh Lord, I got it. But yeah, hey, how you doing there? Good to see you. Good to see you there, Caroline. So, do y'all feel that's going on with y'all? Without the graphic that I put up there, this battle over y'all, this fight to get your money for notary training and stuff. All right, where's this guy? Where's this? Okay, no, hold up. Remember that scans was canceled for this order. Yeah, they canceled the scans, but I still keep getting notifications about doing scans and stuff. So let me upload this real quick. So this is for this company. All right. So I already uploaded the IDs. I just need to upload the documents. I used to, but I ignore all the nonsense now. Yeah, good to see you there, Frank. Yeah, it's just wild. It is just completely wild, wild west out here trying to get notaries. I mean, it's just a straight battle trying to get your attention, trying to get your money, um, making all kinds of claims and stuff. Seller. It's just wild. It really, really is. And it's not helping in my opinion. In my opinion, I'm just uploading some documents for those who just hopping in here. I just gotta upload this scan back that I had to do. That's why I was running late. And all right, that is done for that. All right. Woo. So we are good to go with that. And I already downloaded the documents for this thing for tomorrow. So I'll print that out to Fritter Friday. And I think I'm good there. So I can close that out. And all right. So we good to go. What's going on, Wanda? What's going on? How did we you didn't even pay on no mind? Yeah, and I get it. You're up there in Northern Virginia. Good to see you there, Tracy. Happy Friday to you. And the sad part is there are a lot of people who are not that savvy to recognize the scam. They're not that savvy to recognize the game that people are playing with them out here in these notary streets. and they get caught up. So, like many of you saw the video that I did um the other day, and I don't forget the name of it, but I did a video the other day talking about this topic. And honestly, I wasn't even gonna say anything, but it was hard for me not to not say anything. It was hard. So what was it? What did I call that video? I'm pulling it up now. Yeah, I was just saying Griff is still out here because I hadn't been on for a little bit. And I said, just been busy. And I said, stop getting suckered into useless training. And the whole time that I've been on YouTube, the whole time, oh, let me tone my voice down because my wife said I be talking too loud. The whole time I've been on YouTube, people have been telling me to stop telling people not to take training. And I've always said you can take training. You just have to make sure the training you're taking is actually going to benefit you and help you out in the area of deficiency that you have. But then notary say, well, I don't know what the areas of deficiency I have. I said, well, then you need to really think and learn, think about what the role of a notary is, as well as learn what a notary is supposed to do. So have your own idea. Okay, well, I think this is what a notary is. And then you compare that to what a notary is actually supposed to do. That's what you need to do. But a lot of people don't do that. They just like, well, just tell me what I need to do as if it's a job and you just need somebody to point you in the right direction. Then you just go running off into the sunset making money. No, this is your own business and you need to learn what this business is all about. These individuals aren't teaching you. And when you recognize that the core of what you need to learn to do in a business or in anything is this, whatever it is, the people around you aren't teaching you that, that's a problem. So if you go to a job and you're the executive secretary or the front desk security guard, and they don't teach you how to actually do your job as a security person, they're teaching you all this other stuff. That's a problem because when it comes to doing your job, you're not going to be in a position to actually do it because they're not teaching it to you. They're teaching you all this other stuff, but they're not teaching you how to do your job. In cosmetology, you're learning how to actually properly fix, cut whatever somebody's hair. If the person is teaching you all this other stuff, the fantasy styles and the newest Gumby style and all of that, that doesn't do you any good if you don't understand the basics of hair cutting, how to set the guide and all of that, how to two on 4-part sectioning, things of that nature, how to layer the haircut. Those are some foundational things. And if you don't understand those foundational things, you'll never ever be able to advance. And that's why a lot of people are struggling right now. So there's this huge battle for your attention. They want you to take their training with the idea that by taking their training, that's going to take you to the mountaintop. And a lot of people are getting nowhere near out of the basement. They are stuck down there in the basement of this business, of this industry, and they can't find their way out. And notary trainers have told me over and over and over again, the whole time I've been on YouTube, I'm not going to teach them how to notarize. But that's the job of a notary. Well, that's not my responsibility. Sorry about this, y'all. I got a little bit of cough left. It's just about gone. Honestly, it is just about gone. And I'm like, okay, so it's not your responsibility to teach me how to do my job, but you said it's your responsibility to teach me how to get business, which requires me to do my job. I might take on the responsibility. And see, it's not even that it's your responsibility as a trainer, you're taking on the responsibility. So, what that tells me is that you rather take on the responsibility of this, but not the responsibility of that. So then that makes me question whether you actually know how to do your job as a notary. Because if you're unable and unwilling to teach me how to do my job as a notary, do you know how to do your job as a notary? See, these are the questions you have to ask. So if somebody, what happens when a whole bunch of guys are vying for a young lady's attention? All the cards are in her hands. You want me? Okay, well, here's what I need from you. So if all these people want your attention, they want is your money to so they can train you, then I think you should be the one setting the terms. You get what I'm saying? You set the terms and say, okay, if you really want to train me, I need to know more about your training. I need to get some details about it. Just like people telling us to do that for the loan closing. Well, don't take an order until you find out what's going on and read their contract and this, that, and the other. Apply the same principles to training because they want you to take their training sight unseen, just blind and just go in there. So let's think about it. If you, and I'm gonna go to these comments in a second. If you are willing to go sight unseen into somebody's training, not questioning them, not investigating them, not checking on them, making sure they squared away at anything, then you shouldn't have a problem just taking an order, whatever, and going into a contract with them to make money. Because see, if you're doing that to spend money, know how to see how the pattern, you're spending money on training, but then you're being critical and very, very suspicious about opportunities to make money. How does that make sense? You see what I'm saying? Good evening to you. Good evening. Good evening. So you're unwilling to take work, but you're willing to pay somebody else to teach you something, but then you won't implement that something you've been taught because of a particular dollar amount. That's the part that doesn't make sense. So let's go to the comment. Say, hey, Griff, I have someone who's interested in coming back in the industry. How can I direct him? I am considering I'm considering him to start viewing your videos. No, that would be excellent. That would be excellent. Just tell them to reach out to me. You got my information. Give them my contact information, and tell them to reach out to me. Look at the videos and all of that. And the information is in the description. If he wants to book a 30-minute session with me, sit down, talk. All of that. That's not a problem whatsoever, Wanda. Not so problem at all. It says until notaries get out of the side hustle mentality, nothing will ever change. That is correct. That is truly, truly correct. So there is a battle. There is a straight up battle, a fight for your attention, for your money, to get you to pay them to learn this business. But I don't know how many people remember the company ECPI. It was ECPI, and I forget the other one. And they were basically companies that would, in 2 years or 2.5 years, put you through this. They were in a 2.5 year period of time. They would put you through this rigorous college-like training program. And at the end of the college program, what they did was the top 1% of the class automatically got job opportunities. Automatically. All right, here's my email. Yeah, just tell me, throw me an email and I can go from there. So so that company ECPI, and I forgot what the other one was called, but basically you go to them for about 2.5 years, and if you was in the top 1% of graduates, meaning you scored the highest, they would automatically get you job placements. They had partners set up to hire you right off the bat. You don't see that in the notary business. With all this training, none of the trainers have any kind of partnerships, not that I know of. If you know of any, please tell me. And I'm not just talking about having a local connection, you need to have a nationwide connection where you go take their training and you ace everything. And they got partners that you can get with to do what? Get you started working and start sending you orders. That's not happening. They're basically telling you, and they're fighting for you to give them your money, your time, and then they say, okay, now go out there and find you some business. I'm gonna teach you everything you need to know, or what I think you need to know, and then you got to go out there and make it happen. There should be some kind of perks. You see what I'm saying? There should be some kind of perks. And there's no perks. It's like, okay, I take your training, then what? Oh, just go ahead on and then if you need more help, just pay me some more and I'll deal with you then. So let me share something with you. Let me play this here. This is about degrees. I posted it on my on a YouTube channel here, on my community page. I still call it a community page, but on my post page. But I want y'all to listen to this and give me your thoughts, because I feel that what she is saying here in the very first, about the first 5 seconds, the first 5 or so seconds, is where a lot of notaries are at, and just people in general. So let's just listen to what she has to say. All right. So I just want y'all to hear what she has to say.
I've encountered people who have pursued certifications, degrees, and other credentials to mask inner doubts and insecurities they haven't healed. To you, I say, get the help you need to stop masquerading or feeling like an imposter and step into your own power, with or without a degree. The main thing is to understand that a degree is not a ticket to a new career. Education is offering you the chance to learn information, process it into knowledge, and the opportunity to learn how to think. Now, while colleges and universities can expose you to employment opportunities, you are not necessarily developing skills, unless it's a vocational school, which, by the way, we need more of. Skills or competencies in school. So remember, competencies are skills plus knowledge plus ability, both mental, physical, and emotional ability. In a job interview, you need to be able to express how what you've learned in your earlier work history, post high school or college, combined with the lessons from your college or graduate coursework, internships, or other work experience while in school, have led you to pursue your current path. Make this make sense. Be able to talk about why this holds meaning for you and how you might have changed and how you intend to apply what you've learned to be a better leader, become a domain expert, drive groundbreaking research, etc. You get my point. Share your vision to make it all make sense, at least to you. I've encountered people who have pursued certifications, degrees, and other credentials to mask inner doubts and insecurities they haven't healed. To you, I say, get the help you need to stop masquerading or feeling like an imposter and step into your own power, with or without a degree.
Now, that right there, that is what I think is going on with a lot of people in this notary business. You are trying to become so educated in this business is to mask and to cover up certain insecurities with you. See, trying to tell you, hey, here's the next thing to make money doesn't do any good if you got all these insecurities, all these other doubts, all these other fears that you have yet to overcome personally. And until you do, no level of education is going to take you to the mountaintop where you think you want to be at, or where other people tell you to be at. See, you got to stop chasing other people's success. There's a level of success that each one of us is supposed to have. There's a level of money that each one of us is supposed to have. But what we end up doing is chasing other people's success, other people's money, other people's whatever, and never establishing our own. So when that person is no longer in our life, that person lets us down and disappoints us. That person moves on and does something different, like a lot of YouTubers did in this here business that was notaries. They stopped. Oh, I'm gonna go on this journey now. I'm gonna go on that journey now, and then you was lost because you put your faith and you put all of your effort. You put everything into trying to accomplish what they did, not trying to accomplish what you're supposed to accomplish. There's certain things that you are supposed to accomplish, and you're not accomplishing them. You're trying to accomplish what they accomplish. And you're trying to get all of this education, And that's why they're fighting for you to become one of their students, to quote unquote educate you. But as you listen to what she's saying in there, and I'm gonna play this, I'm gonna finish playing this here. You're learning stuff, but you haven't developed a skill. You're getting all this education, but you still don't understand how to properly notarize documents. This is why I focus on that, because you need to have the necessary skill in order to do your job. And if you don't know how to do your job, then how can you make money? Many of you got a W 2. I would say all of us has had a W 2 here. And guess what? You know that you got to have the necessary skills in order to do your job, whatever it may be. Janitor, parking lot attendant. You have to have the necessary skill of being able to stay awake as a parking lot attendant. You have to be able to stay focused as a security guard. You have to have the proper skills for us handling a firearm. As a teacher, there's certain skills you got to have. You have to have certain skills. Yes, you learn some things in school, but then you have to develop those skills. And because there's no environment truly to develop those skills within the notary realm, this is why you spend 2, 3, 4 years in this business not doing anything whatsoever. And then constantly running behind another course and another course and another course. In other words, you're running behind what they are telling you you need to run behind. They are saying the TMCs, the trainer, mentor, and coaches are telling you this is what you need to learn. Is that really what I'm supposed to learn? Can you prove to me I'm supposed to learn that? Hey, look at me. I'm successful. I'm just teaching you what I learned and it made me successful. It'll make you successful too. Maybe. That's my disclaimer. If it's not, then hey, it must be something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with me or what I taught you because it worked for me. That's where I get the concept that we're running behind what made them successful, but not necessarily what will make you successful. And until you start learning how to be on your own, until you start getting the courage to be on your own and to stand up for yourself, you'll never, ever be successful in a lot of things that you attempt to do. That is just flat out facts. You can't be successful trying to live somebody else's life. In relationships, y'all tell men all the time, don't try to make me act like her. Men, you tell your woman, don't try to make me act like him. No, 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 no. I'm my own man. I'm my own woman. And now y'all got to figure it out together. It's nothing wrong with getting advice, but sometimes that advice is not applicable to you. But you get inspired and you get ideas from that advice. You're like, okay. Well, that won't work, but this will probably work. It's nothing wrong with getting information, but the information has to inspire you to move forward. And if the information you're getting out here from these people is not inspiring you to move forward, but 2 years down the road, you're like, I'm still ain't done nothing with this business, then that means the information was bogus. And if it wasn't bogus, then that means there's something wrong with you. So which one is it? And this is where you have to figure it out. But many of you don't want to figure it out because you know what? You have a history of not figuring it out in your W 2. You have a history of not figuring it out in your personal relationships. So, how can you be expected to figure it out in this business? You can't and you won't. This is just life. This is just life facts. So, you can sit here and spend all your time and money on all these courses, on all these credentials. You can be a part of every notary association, notary coalition, notary guild, notary whatever. But if you don't have your act together personally, it's never going to work. And I would venture to say that a lot of people who are highly successful in this business are people who have either learned to truly mask their insecurities and their shortcomings or have learned to truly overcome them and move forward. And there's a very small percentage, so small you can't even see it, that this business moved them out of their issues and into another realm of personal growth and development. Very small percentage. So the question is, what are you going to do? Because they're fighting for you. So that means, hey, all the cards are in your hand. You want me? You want my attention? And what they do is they turn to, well, if you want to be successful, no, 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 no. I can be successful because I've been successful in other things in my life, and you wasn't a part of them. And since you're not going to teach me how to properly notarize documents, which means I got to teach myself. Well, if I can teach myself that, I can teach myself all this other stuff that you claim that you have cornered the market on, and I need to go come to you in order to learn how to do all of this stuff. But the core thing that I need to know how to do, you don't have the ability to teach me. So if you can't teach me that, how can I really trust that you can teach me anything else? That's how you would treat your sons and daughters school. If there's the basics of how to run track and how to come out the blocks on a 100-yard dash, or 100-meter dash, as they call it. You know, almost I'll call it 100-yard, but 100-meter dash. So if you can't, Mr. Track Coach, Miss Track Coach can't teach them the basics of how to come out of the blocks, how to set the blocks, all of that, what makes me think you're going to be able to teach them anything else that can garner them and put them on a path of success? Can't, because if you can't teach the basics and foundations, nothing else matters. And this is where we're at. And many of you, excuse me, many of you know this, but you're ignoring it just because you think you can get the bag and you can bypass what is already out here in the world, what is already set and established in this earth, that in order for you to be success, you got to have the right foundation. You cannot move forward in anything in life if the foundation isn't correct. If the foundation is shaky, if the foundation is not secure, if the foundation is built on falsehood, lies, and misguidedness, there's no way anything that you build on top of it is going to stand. So if you know that in other areas of your life, then why do you think it's going to work in this area of your life, which is called the notary business? And they're hoping that you don't figure this out. Because once you figure it out, you're like, it's not that your training is not good. I just don't need it at the moment. There's something else that I need to get together. Because see, their training is actually floor 3, 4, 5, and 6. You need to get established on the foundation and the first floor and the second floor. What a lot of them are teaching you is floor 3, 4, 5, and on up. And your foundation isn't strong enough to hold it. So when the pressure of floor 3, then 4, then 5, you can't help but collapse under the weight and expectation of what they're teaching you. If you even should be learning that and doing it. Come on, somebody talk to me. Somebody talk to me. Said I'm preaching hard truth tonight. Somebody talk to me. So let's finish listening to her. So let's listen to her very, very carefully here.
The main thing is to understand that a degree is not a ticket to a new career. Education is offering you the chance to learn information, process it into knowledge, and the opportunity to learn how to think.
Now, that right there is the whole thing. Are you put in a position with this knowledge that you're gaining that to where you're actually learning something to where you can actually put it into practice? Because the education that you get should not increase the fear and unsurety and iffiness. It should diminish it. And if it's not diminished, then that means it's not doing what it's supposed to do.
Now, while colleges and universities can expose you to employment opportunities, you are not necessarily developing skills, unless it's a vocational school, which, by the way, we need more of. Skills or competencies in school. So remember, competencies are skills plus knowledge plus ability, both mental, physical, and emotional ability. In a job interview, you need to be able to express how what you've learned in your earlier work history, post high school or college, combined with the lessons from your college or graduate coursework, internships, or other work experience while in school have led you to pursue your current path. Make this make sense. Be able to talk about why this holds meaning for you and how you might have changed and how you intend to apply what you've learned to be a better leader, become a domain expert, drive groundbreaking research, etc. You get my point. Share your vision to make it all make sense, at least to you.
On my channel, on the picture down here underneath the video, just click on that. It takes you to my main page. Scroll over to posts, click on posts. You'll see this video. I'm showing you from your Instagram, but the same video is over there on YouTube. You have to start evaluating this training and asking, is the training taking me down that path there? Is it? If it's not taking you down that path, what she's saying, to where you can articulate and see, remember now, when I talk about the profile, what do I say? You articulate that you know how to do your job. Well, what is my job? To properly notarize the signatures that are placed on the document, that you understand that the promissory note only requires the person who is supposed to who is taking out the loan. That you don't just write somebody's name on the promissory note just to be writing their name on there. Just because there's two people, there's five people, but only one person applied for the loan. That's who is responsible for paying for it. You don't double side print. You don't email documents without approval. You ship the documents out on time. So you articulate that based off the training, you should be able to articulate that you know how to do your job as a notary. Not all this loan closings, loan signing, this notary signing agent stuff. No, 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 no. We're not talking about that. We're talking about your job as a notary because that's what you hired to do notarial stuff. If the company has not taken time out to educate the signers on how to do their on this contract and all of that and how to fill out this block and that block, that's not your responsibility. As much as notary trainers want to make you think it is, ask them to show you in your state statute that you're supposed to be doing that. They can't. And they will all tell you, just as they told me, well, if you want to make the big money, if you want to make some decent money while working direct, you have to do this. So I got to violate my state law in order to make money. That doesn't make sense to me whatsoever. So now let me talk about this one topic. Let me see if I can pull one up real quick. This daggone U.S. Patriot Act. Let me see if I got one in here. I believe I do. I believe I got one in here. Yeah, I do. In this one, I do. I can show you the signature page part. Okay, and it doesn't matter whether there's two IDs or not. Oh, here it is. All right. U.S. Patriot Act. Everybody wants to know what title to use. What title to use? What title to use? What title to use for the U.S. Patriot Act? I will tell you what I put is notary or notary public. If your state i.e., California, as an example, says that according to their state laws and statutes, you should put something else other than notary or notary public, then you do so. The reason why I don't put signing agent there is because I don't identify as a signing agent. That is not a term that I am familiar with in accordance with my state statutes. My state statutes told me that I am a notary public. So for me to put any other title down there would mean I have to identify as that. I have to accept that. And I have never been told by my state that I should be listed as that. Now, if your state says you cannot write notary or notary public on a document that you don't officially notarize, then you have to find out from them, well, then what do you want me to put? And whatever they tell you, that's what you do. When I did the DeepSeek AI, everything kept pointing back to putting signing agent down there. But I'm like, okay, where's the state statute that says I need to do that? Oh, there is no state statute that says you need to do that for Virginia. Excuse me. So how can you tell me to put a title down that I don't identify with? I don't accept that as my title, as my role, as what I'm supposed to be doing here. I did not come in here because in my mind, I'm like, okay, the certifier's printed name and title. All of a sudden, I'm changing my title to something different than what it is throughout the rest of the document. And there are documents that I may not sign, but I'm responsible for witnessing them. So what do they say? What do they say? Well, who witnessed this the signing of this document? There was no notarization. What did they say? They say, oh, the notary did. Because if I can't be a notary for this document, then how can I be a notary witnessing the other documents? Who witnessed the other documents? Oh, a signing agent. But I don't identify as that. We do over as a notary public, not as a signing agent. So, correct. So this is the dilemma. And see, here's the thing about this business is that everybody, and I know I'm generalizing this. I will not generalize it. A lot of people love to hop on the internet in this business with this popcorn revelation of, "Ooh, I got something to tell you. Here's what you can do. Here's what we really are. You are not a notary public when you do the US Patriot Act. You are a signing agent." The moment they come out their mouth, you need to say, where does it say that in my state statute? Well, I don't know. Then why are you telling me something that you can't prove? Come on, people, let's get real. They fighting for my money. I want to fight for the truth. If you're going to sit here and demand that I follow your random advice after you've only been in the business less than 2 or 3 years, if that, and you can't even tell me or point me to anything in my state statute or yours, you're just regurgitating what you heard the NNA say. Well, the NNA is based in where? California. So they're basing that probably off of what they do in California. But what does state statute say? Well, no, the best practice would be because at the moment you are filling this out, you are not a notary public. Okay, well, what if the bank manager did it? What is he supposed to do? Put signing agent? He's a bank manager. He got the closing documents back, and it's his responsibility to fill it out. So you tell me, what is the bank manager supposed to do? Not put bank manager? Because it says you are the certifier. Let's look at this, what it says. It says, I certify that I have personally viewed and accurately recorded the information from the documents identified above, talking about whatever you put up there, and have reasonably confirmed the identity of the applicant. Now, who is the person that did that? me, date, my printed name, and what is the title of the person who did that? Well, the only title that I can identify with is notary public, because the only reason why I'm there is because I'm a notary public. Yeah. Now, if my state has provided me and deemed me with a opportunity to be called something else, then I will roll with that. Can you can you seasoned notaries let this conversation go? I put notary closer and keep it moving. I get you, I get it, but guess what, Oswald? It's not even, well, in my, from what I've seen, it's not even some of the seniors, the more experienced ones. It's the daggone a lot of these new notaries who are pushing it out there trying to be quote unquote trainers and mentors. I mean, Caprina said, "Hey Griff, I think the issue regarding the Patriot Act is that a lot of states, not all, mention to only use your title when completing Notary Act." And see, that's what I'm saying. I have never been told that in Virginia. I honestly have never been told that in Virginia. I'm not saying that is nothing wrong, but then they have to give me the title that they want me to put down, and I'm fine with that. But when it comes to some random notary on TikTok or Instagram or wherever else, Clubhouse, and they can't honestly articulate for as my state statute, then who are you that I need to be listening to? So what I've always said is, whatever your state tells you to do, that's what you do, which means you need to have a conversation with them. So I'm not going to sink into somebody else's loss of communication or go to jail for unauthorized practice law. Those escrow agents and lenders are licensed to do what they do, not us. Correct. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. And say, I don't think it needs to be signed. Right. Because the signing agent is supposed to be somebody who's doing it for the overall thing. But then it's like, okay, I'm flip flopping back and forth. So you're going to, as I always say, you're going to do whatever the heck you want to do, because for some people, it's about feeling good. It's about the emotional feeling that you get. It's about, I'm doing this and you're not. Ha ha. You're doing it wrong and I am. That's what for a lot of people, it's called the one up syndrome. They always got to one up you. And when you look at this notary business, that's what you see a lot of. Yeah, I know I just started yesterday, but I learned something that none of you know. Shut up. It's that simple. I'm sorry. I can't say it no plainer than that. It's like, you just started, ain't even got a closing yet. And what are you telling me? Oh, yeah, I just learned something and I'm gonna share it with y'all. Now, you ain't got to listen to me, but I'm just saying this is what I do. And if you want more information, click my link in the bio and sign up for my mentorship. I'm sitting here like, really? Come on, people. Come on. Are y'all for real? For real? Oh, no, that's the wrong document altogether. I'm trying to find something else to show y'all. Um, I wish I could. I'm trying to find something else. This one company had last year, and I'm trying to figure out who it was. I'm trying to, because there's an example that I can show y'all, and gosh, I don't know if it was them. Well, whenever I find it, I will have to do a separate video on it. Um, I will have to do a separate video on it so I can show y'all, because there's a file out here. And it's a particular US Patriot Act file that they have. And when I find it, I promise I will do a video on it just as an example. and stuff. So one day I will look for it. I just can't remember the name of the company. If I can remember the name of the company that I saw it on, then I can pull the file up and I can't and everything. So one of the things somebody I saw a notary this evening was asking me to show them about filling out or re-inking the notary stamp. Some people are struggling with that. Hold on one second, y'all. So some people are struggling with this. So if you have this particular type, all right, so you got these little red buttons. These red buttons are to lock it in. So you press it gently down and then you push the red buttons in. If you look, you can see they sort of in. That's it, flush, sticking out. Now it's stuck in. Now, the tricky part is so you don't push it out the half moon side. You push it out the straight square side. And you just push it out just a touch and you pull it out. Now, for me, I always have some type of towel or whatever to place it down on. And then I have my ink. Now, this ink, I've had this ink in this bottle here for about 6 years. You'll lie. I still got a good little bit left in it. I keep it in this rag because the cap ain't all that best and it sort of leaks out. So simply put, I put my cap down here. This is the pad. This is an old ink stamp. No, I'm sorry. This is my current one. And then I just put it on there and I just let it soak in. And that's it. That's it. That's all you got to do. Some of it dripped down on my towel. And that's it. That's it, y'all. I'm serious. That is it. Let me clean this off this towel here. I mean, well, something actually hitting on my table. And that's it. I always wear a glove because I don't want that stuff getting all on my fingers and stuff and everything because it's, pretty permanent and it will stain your stuff up pretty bad. That's really all you got to do. That's all you really got to do. And you are good to go. And then you just stick it back in. So whatever's facing up, that's the ink side. That's the I'm sorry, not facing up, facing down. So the part that I just inked, all I'm going to do is just stick it back in here, let it click, gently press that, and I'm good to go. And a lot of times, the first time you stamp it might be a little light, and then you just stamp it again, and it's a little bit darker. And that's it, just to test it out. And then I just throw my gloves away, and then boom. So back to the topic at hand. Good evening to you. So right now, as I stated, there's a huge push. Just make sure that wasn't no order. Nope, it's not. There's a huge push again for you and me to spend money with these individuals to, to learn how to do this business. The business is simple enough. And you say, well, Griff, you got training. My training is specifically designed to fix the area of deficiency that you are currently dealing with. Excuse me, which is not properly understanding how to fill out a notarial certificate. Hands down. That's the area of deficiency that many of you are struggling with. Now, if you want to learn the documents and be able to explain them and articulate and guide and all of that, that's on you. You don't have to do that. That is not required. I will honestly tell you over 95% of the closings I did this week, nobody cared about me explaining a single solid thing. This week, I actually did This week alone, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and I got one tomorrow, 23. Out of those 23, maybe two actually was like, hey, can you explain? Or I got a concern or a question. I'm not sure if I understand something. The rest, it was they just wanted to sign, keep it going. A couple of people I met, I was at their house and they was waiting for them to come home from work. When they got home, they was tired. They was like, I just want to sign and get it on out of here. Lady I did tonight, she had bingo to go to. She was like, yo, and she was doing POA for two people. So she was signing John Jones by her, her name, attorney in fact, for two people. So she was like, I ain't got, she wasn't trying to do this. And she was a real estate agent and she owns a real estate company. So she was like, I understand the documents. I don't need to know anything. The guy I met earlier today, I mean, yesterday, late yesterday evening, he was like, I just want to get out of here because, I just got home. I got other things to do. People you meet people and they're like, hey, I gotta go play soccer, do soccer, I gotta go do this, I gotta go do that with the kids. I'm telling you, you're not spending all of your time sitting here trying to articulate and guide people through documents because a lot of them already understand them. The biggest problem that you're faced with is that you don't know how to properly notarize the signatures. You don't know how to read and interpret and understand those daggone notarial certificates because they don't look like the ones from your state. They're slightly different here, they're slightly different there, and you're trying to figure out what in the world to do with them. Okay. So let me just give you an example of a notary situation that I came into. And this is one of the ones that I teach with the people who attend my class. Okay. So where is it? Is that it? Nope. Do. Okay, where is it? Oh, there it is. I don't know why I went to the. Okay, that's what the problem is. It was in the wrong alphabetical order. All right. So hold on one second. Because I got to pull these up anyway for tomorrow and stuff. I'm gonna show you all a document that I ran into. Um, Let me pull it up. Where is it? Here we go. Can't show you everything. I show you everything, then you won't be wanting to take the class. Then you'll be like, oh, I'm a notary certificate expert. But I'm gonna show y'all something here. All right. So I made these names up. So you tell me what to do with this. This is a page that I actually saw. You tell me what is the notary supposed to do with this? This is what you see. This is at the end of the page. There's 3 pages. This is page 3, the signature page. Tell me what you're supposed to do with this. And I like blue. Tell me what am I supposed to do with this? So we know the date goes here, all of that. So what am I supposed to do with this, y'all? Am I stamping it or am I not stamping it? because this is something that you'll be faced with. You will be faced with this. And you're like, what the heck I'm supposed to do with this? And it's easy. And Caprinas, because I already knew he probably used pretty easy California. All right. So you say stamp, you say don't stamp. Now, why do you say stamp and why do you say don't stamp? What's your reasoning for stamping? What's your reasoning for not stamping? Honestly. What is your reasoning to stamp? What is your reasoning not to stamp? So one of the things that you have to understand is that you need to understand the elements for your state, for your state. You have to every state has elements that need to be in a notarial certificate. And if you don't understand what the elements are for your state, and they're basic for every state, there's some basic elements for every state, that determines whether or not you stamped it. Now, I didn't say you don't sign it. I didn't say you couldn't sign it, and I didn't say you couldn't put your notary expiration. There has to be something that indicates to you that this is a properly formatted notarial certificate. And if you do not see what you need to see based on your state guidelines, then you cannot stamp this point blank, period. And some people get into this thing of, and there's some trainers out there that say, oh, just stamp, if you see it, just stamp it just to be on the safe side, just to be sure, just stamp it anyway. Just stamp, it's better to overstamp than to understamp. Not necessarily so. And the reason why is this, because there are a lot of these title companies and lenders, as well as attorneys who do not understand proper notary laws. And guess what? If they all they want to see is the stamp, that's all they want to see. And they think because the stamp is on there, that validates the document, which we're not document validators. We verify the signature and we're notarizing the signature. But some people, all they want to see is the stamp. Now, here's the crazy part. the the reason why you can get away with this here is because this is not something that's recordable. If the document is not recordable, meaning they don't record this at the courthouse, they just have you notarizing the signatures as proof that they signed it in your presence, and they just file it away in the archives. You could get away with it. You literally could get away with just stamping this and signing your name and putting your expiration date and call it a day, because all they care about seeing is the stamp. And that's something that I recently found out. And I was like, what? Because it was title company, and I said, hey, y'all notarial certificates are split between different pages. And I'm gonna add a notarial certificate. They said, oh no, you ain't got to do all that because this isn't recordable. This is just internal to us. So we don't really care about all that. I'm still obligated to do it correctly in accordance with my state law. This is what you get taught in my training. Links in the description. So you do not, like you said, definitely would not stamp without notarial verbiage. Correct, as title. And that's what I did. I asked them and I pointed out to them what the issue was. And I said, hey, there's a document. It was some kind of agreement. And I said, I need to know, what is this something that y'all wanted to be notarized? Because it looks like y'all got portions of a notarial certificate, but it is not a complete, correct notarial certificate. And they said, thank you for letting us know. We would like an acknowledgement And sometimes we don't format our notarial certificates correctly. That's what they told me. And I was like, bet, no problem. Got you covered. So all of this stuff people saying to you, you're paying them all this money for them to tell you, well, you really need to learn this stuff because you don't want to have to ask title because they're going to think that you don't know what you're doing. This isn't about me not knowing what I'm doing. This is about them not knowing what the heck they're doing. How does me asking them for clarification on something they did that could potentially be wrong shows a lack of knowledge on my part? This is the fear that a lot of these trainers have within themselves. They have it within themselves, so they communicate that to you. They're sharing their fear of, I don't want to seem like I don't know, with you. A lot of these people have insecurities. You would not believe some of the men that I've come across in this business. They talk tough, okay? And I don't even think they're in the business anymore. But years ago, they were talking tough. They had all kinds of insecurity. They were worried. They were scared. There's ladies that I've known. They were scared because I just don't want nobody to fuss at me. So if you have that spirit of anti being fussed at, which nobody really wants to be fussed at, but if it's something that takes you into a you break down and you can't function mode, this ain't the business for you. Because these title people, these lenders, these signing companies, they are going to fuss at you if you go out here and you do something and you don't try to get clarification. Case in point, today, let me see if I can pull this up for you. I don't know if no, I can't. I can't because I actually put the people's name in it. But basically, what I ended up doing was, okay, I'm gonna just have to read it to you. So I'm sitting here looking at these documents, and again, this person had to do power of attorney for two people. And I'm looking at the length of I'm like, okay, this is a long power of attorney statement. So last night, this is 9/19 last night. I said, just reviewing the documents and notice the mortgage has witness signature lines. Will so and so have witnesses? Also, with the POA signatures, how does title want the signatures? Meaning the actual names. I'm just making up some names here. Earl Jones and Sandy Jones and Kim Baker. Well, Kim Baker's the one that's doing the signing in cursive, and then by her attorney in fact, dot in print. So basically, I'm saying, do you want the names of the people, the buyers, and the person signing in cursive, and everything else in print? They came back later and told me yes, their names in cursive, everything else in print. Then I said, is there an abbreviated way for I don't forget her name. Was it for Molly to sign in the small area? Because there were some very, very tiny areas that the POA verbiage could not fit in. And I said, I'm concerned that the signatures will not legibly fit in those signature blocks. Then I asked, then I said, hey, there are two buyer affidavits and they don't have the proper POA verbiage. So I was like, can y'all redo those and let me, and then, forward them to me. And then I asked about, there was a VA certification and disability compensation form. Well, is this for both of them or for just one of them? Who is it for? So these are the questions I asked. So I asked so many daggone questions. The title people called me. They were like, all right, we need to just talk to you. So what they told me was, they said, as far as the abbreviated way, they said in the reporting certification, just have them write it below it because there's no way it's going to fit into that box area. I was like, all right, cool. I was like, bet. Then I said, what about the two buyer affidavits? They said, just handwrite it in there for us. the rest of the POA verbiage. Just, do your thing, find a way, put it on there. I said, okay, no problem. And then I said, what about the VA certification? They went and checked. They said, okay, it'll just be for him. And the lady said, wow, you're really on top of it. She was impressed with the fact that I took the time out to ask these questions so that we can get it done right. Now, here's something that I learned. I said, well, why do I need to write the names, the rest of that POA verbiage on there? I said, can't y'all just, she said, I said, can't y'all just open the file up and just change? She said, no, those are lender documents. And this is the title company. She said, so if that was to get corrected, we have to try to get the lender to do it. And we don't know how long that's going to take. So just go ahead on the hand, write it in there for us. I said, bet, understand. See, now I just learned something. I just learned something that document is from the lender. I didn't know who it was from. I thought it was a title document, but it was from the lender. And it's the document that basically says, and I have an example of it right here. Part of my training that I do. This document right here, and I changed the names, so these aren't real names. This right here, this is called, this one, it was just affidavit. But this here, so in the notarial certificate, it didn't have the proper thing. And they had to initial whether or not there was a foreign principal or not. So I was like, on this form, the notarial statement just had the person who was signing on their behalf, but it didn't have the POA verbiage. And this is the one where they said, go ahead and just handwrite the rest of the POA verbiage in there. I was like, all right, cool. So that's what I had to do. So it was this form here, and it was for a Florida property. So I was like, all right, bet. So this is the kind of stuff that I go over and I teach people to help them to learn how to deal with these notarial certificates, because you're going to see all of this stuff. If you stay in this business long enough, if you step out there on faith and try to do these closings, regardless of the price, you're going to see these various different notarial certificates, and you need to understand how to deal with them. That the link in the description of this video, you'll see all the training dates. You either sign up or you don't, but either way it goes, you still got to learn how to do these notarial certificates. So that's the difference with what I'm training and what other people are training you to do is to walk people through the document and to point out different things. And in and of itself, it sounds cool to be able to do that. But the concern is that if the person who you're meeting with does not want you to open your mouth and talk about the documents because they are in a rush or they've already reviewed them. So now what is the only thing left for you to focus on? The notarial certificates, which is your job. So what you've been trained to do has been taken away from you in this closing, meaning they're like, hey, we good. Or you get pulled into a closing and at a title office or a real estate office, and they're like, hey, we just need you to do the notarizations. We'll take care of explaining the documents. So now all of what you've been trained to do is not in play here. See, this is what they don't teach you, is that what they're training you to do may not be allowed. But what I'm training you to do, you have to do, because that's what you're there to do. The one constant in every single loan closing is the notarial certificates. There's nothing that says you always will be allowed to share information about the documents or guide them through or anything. Because if the escrow officer is there, if a title officer is there, if the lender is there, or whoever, and I've been in closing, if you go to a closing with Movement Mortgage in my area, they actually have the loan officer, not the title person, the loan officer there. When you're doing a reverse mortgage, the loan officer sometimes is there. And I've done reverse mortgage closings where I'm going into the loan officer's office. Now they sit back and let me do my thing, but if there's any questions, they hop right on in there. So the only thing for me to focus on is that notarial certificate. Either I know how to fill it out in front of them or I don't. Because guess what? Sometimes, and Lynn Hodge say you're a newbie. If it's like I said, the information is in the description. There are times where you go to a closing and you don't take the documents with you to scan. They say, okay, thank you. See you later. You come there, you do your notary stuff, and then you leave. And you have to leave the documents there. There are times where I've done closings and they say leave the documents with the signers. Okay. So now, if you are not confident in how to fill out a notarial certificate, and you're used to taking the closing documents home and Googling how to fill it out and getting in Facebook groups on how to fill it out, you up the creek without any kind of paddle or anything else. You are done. And you got notary trainers out here telling you to your face, it is not my responsibility to make sure you know how to fill out that notarial certificate. Point blank, period. So you tell me what the point of doing the training. And it's hard for, and people have asked me, well, stop telling people don't take the training. It's hard when you have this argument here that I just laid out. What are you going to do if you get called like I did to go to a hospital? I was at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Me and some fellows was talking online. We was chopping it up, and I get a phone call, and lady said, "Hey," I said, "Griffin Notary." She said, "Yeah, I need a notary. I'm on my way down from Richmond, Virginia, to the hospital in Virginia Beach on Lansdowne. I have an adoption, and I saw you online, and you're the only notary that would respond that has picked up. So, can you meet me to do this note to do the notarizations for the adoption?" Okay, I'll be there. Went there, made over $200 doing it. But guess what? I don't have the ability to take the documents with me and Google how to fill this out and take pictures and submit them to Facebook. I had to get it right at that time. So if I didn't know how to do my job as a notary, how in the world are these people going to be able to adopt their babies and it's going to be legal? And not only that, when I got there, guess what? They had the phone, and just as y'all see me, because I always make sure. So just as you see me, guess what I saw? I saw the attorney on the phone, and the attorney was like, "Go ahead on and do your thing." And I was like, "Okay." And I swore me in, and the attorney was sitting there nodding their head, like, "Okay, good. You swore me in. That's what you're supposed to do." See, I know how to do my job, and that's all I'm trying to teach you how to do is your job. Now, after that, if you want to learn all this other stuff, you go right the heck head on. But the one thing you're going to know from me, if you come to take any kind of training with me, is how to do your job so that if what you've been trained to do, notice how I'm not saying that the training that you're being taking and doing and being taught is your job. I teach people how to do their job. The other people are teaching you how to do stuff that they say will help you to get an opportunity. I'm teaching you how to be able to do your job so that if for some reason you're not able to do anything that they taught you because somebody said, we good, just sit here in the corner and sign and stamp. You can do that and still make your money. Because does it really matter whether I run my mouth about the document? No. The only thing that matters, in my opinion, is that I can do my job correctly and get paid for doing it. And I'm trying to minimize my exposure to any kind of liability. And see, they're teaching you things And they're like, well, it's not the unauthorized practice of law. Show me in my state statute. Have you talked to my state about what you're teaching me to prove that it is not the unauthorized practice of law? Well, I talked to this clerk and I talked to this attorney and I talked to these people over here. So that's valid for your state. Is it valid for mine? Well, I don't know. I mean, you got to figure that out. You can't tell me to do something. And then when I start inquiring the foundation of what you're saying and the legality of it, then you throw your hands up. Be like, well, I don't know. I mean, you got to figure that out. So then I didn't really need to spend no time with you. All right. This is where I feel it's a waste of time. You're being pulled left and right and told that you cannot be successful in this business unless you take their training. That their training will take you to the mountaintop. And you get to the mountaintop and you up there doing your dance. And then somebody comes along and say, hey, can you notarize this? Yeah, turn around. Okay, turn around. It's done. I think this isn't done correctly. Turn around. He told me wrong. Oh. Hey, Griff. How am I supposed to notarize this thing? It said, I'm gonna send you a picture. Okay, this is what you're supposed to do. Da-da. Thank you, Griff. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's my life right now. People take these other folk training. I get phone calls. Hey, I got this thing. I don't know how do I fill this out? Hey, that's how people call men and women. Hey, Griff. Yeah, buddy old pal. What's up? I know I didn't take your notary certificate training, but I was wondering if you could help me out here real quick. Yeah, I'm in quite of a jam and I don't know what to put where on this here. You know, huh? Gotcha. No problem. I'll help you. Because I don't want to see nobody fail. And I don't even send them my cash app or nothing. I don't ask them, problem. Because you just learned how to get that fixed at that moment. You did not learn. You just got out of the bind, but you haven't learned for future. Now you call me back a second time. Be like, you in it to win it. Come on now. You ain't learned by yet. Take the training so you can learn. This is where we're at, people. And this isn't me just trying to say take my training just so I can make money. This ain't got nothing to do with that. Because if you really want to, if you don't want to take my training, then look at my videos. Got a whole list, got a notary basics. I got a video on notarial certificates. But people aren't taking it. They're not watching it. Boy, it's too long. Okay, well, you do the training with me, it's gonna be 3 hours. So you can take a 3-hour training with me for $40, or you spend an hour looking at the video online. Which one? It's up to you. It's completely up to you. All right, people. Any other questions that y'all got? This say I love when that happens. No printing, no shipping. Yeah. Just be able to do your job. It says things, girl. They're all certainly different. I think I need to take your training from seasoned notary. Yeah, I got you covered. I'm telling you. And Denise took the training. She took the training. We go through every single thing tomorrow at noon, Sunday at 3. Walk you through it step by step by step. So you can fully and completely understand what you're looking at and how and why it is what it is. It's just that simple. So ask your notary trainer, hey, can you teach me? Oh, that's that. Can you teach me the notary certificates and how to fill it out? Oh, like I said before, and I'm gonna end with this. And I said it in the video today, words matter. When you tell them, I want to be a loan signing agent or I want to learn how to do loan closings, they're going to teach you how to go through the documents. They're not teach you anything because to them, there's the loan documents, doing loan closings, and then there's the notary, and they're two separate things. If you ask them, hey, I want you to teach me how to be a notary, they're going to push you away and tell you to go over yonder and figure that out for yourself. But if you was to ask them, hey, can you teach me how to do loan closings? They get all giddy, they get excited, they pull out that they pull out their price list, and then boom, that's where it's at. And I'm not against entrepreneurship, of course, but what I am against is people paying for something that's not beneficial when you don't have the foundation. And if all you can say is you need to go get it from somewhere else, you're responsible for your own this, that, and the other, then why am I even rocking with you? It doesn't make sense. What do women say? Oh, I can do bad by myself. You said I need a man in my life. That's what this dude Earl told Janice. Earl told Janet, girl, baby girl, you need a good man in your life. Okay, you let him in your life and he ain't doing nothing. No, 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 no. I can, I'm gonna help us buy. I'm gonna buy us a house. Okay, well, can you get up and take the kids to school? Can you fix the kids' breakfast? Can you pick me up on time? Can you just do some basic foundational things? I mean, girl, that's look, I'm gonna get us a house. I'm gonna get us a nice big house with a big yard. Okay, you talking all this mess, but I still need you to pick the kids up because I'm working a double. I gotta pick the kids up. Oh man, girl, why don't your mama them get them kids? You helped me create them. I mean, yeah, but I mean, I'm working on something big here. Can you help me learn how to make sure I'm doing my notary stuff right? Look, I'm gonna teach you the big things in this business. I'm gonna teach you how to be a oh, six-figure notary galore. Ah, you're gonna be so credentialed and so coalition that it ain't. You're gonna knock it out. I'm telling you, everybody gonna be knocking on your door. They're gonna be blowing up your phone. Your phone gonna be so busy. Just text messages gonna be oozing out the back. But how do I deal with this notarial certificate? Huh? What am I supposed to do when I see this? Oh, look, you just need look. Go talk to your state. You can't help me. I mean, you said you know how to do this stuff and you making money, so I would have figured you would understand what I should do here. What am I supposed to do with this one? When I see this, what am I supposed to do here? Is this properly formatted? Is this a properly formatted notarial certificate? So I got this document. This is the last page. These people over here, fake names. These are fake names. Supposed to sign this. So is this notarial certificate right? Does this meet my state requirements? I mean, it seems like it's missing something. What am I supposed to do? Because it seems like it's missing something. It doesn't seem like it's proper. Nah, look, I help you to get the opportunity. You got to figure the rest out for yourself. All right. All you do is add the venue State of, county of. Now, if you from Florida or California, this is not properly formatted for y'all. So you will have to add a loose certificate. Apprentice, am I correct or not? If I'm, please let me know if I'm correct, because this does not have that statement that California, especially if it's a property in California. Now, if it's a property outside of California, I believe, as Caprina, I think he told me one time that y'all could use this because it's not in California. But some states don't operate that way. They say no matter what, you got to have a properly formatted notarial certificate in accordance with the state that you are commissioned in. So these are things that you have to find out. I don't know if Caprina is still here, but this here, because see, like Florida requires certain elements to be in there. And if those elements aren't in there, that's not a properly notarized signature on that document. So these are the things that you have to learn, and these are the things that I work with you on to learn to figure out for your state. I don't care what state you're in. So while other trainers are scared to deal with this here, I help you to figure this kind of stuff out and everything. So this is where we're at. So while they're sitting up here fighting for you, pulling on you, telling you sign up, I got a 30-day discount and all of that. What the heck am I going to get for the get? What are you really teaching me? Wanda says correct. Wanda says correct. I think Wanda's in California. She said correct. If she's in California, correct. You got to switch out the notarial, add the one for California if it's a property in California. So these are the things that you need to know. Or nope. Which one is nope, Cabrinas? What's correct and what's nope? Because he said nope on something. Have to match 100% with the California. Juret has to match 100% with the California stuff. Correct? I think that's what he's saying. So that's the thing. So this is where you have to take time out and learn and make sure that you understand fully what your state requires. And if your state requires it to be this way, then you make sure it's that way. And for some people, this kind of stuff gets confusing to them. It makes their brain cells hurt and they don't want to address it. Okay, gotcha. See, there we go. Thank you. The jurat has to be 100% matched no matter in California or another state. Bingo. So that means what? So that means this notarial statement right here, you cannot use. You don't put an X on it, but you cannot use. You would have to add a notarial certificate if you're in California. That's California. So if you California, boom. This is the kind of stuff you learn working with me. Point blank, period. So that you can go out here and be the best notary you can be. Now, I don't think I've had anybody from California take my certificate training, and really they probably don't need to because of the way California trains them. So I don't think they really would need to. But other states, Florida, I think I've had several Florida people and all that and everything. So let me get on up out of here, print these documents for tomorrow, go kick it with my wife for a little bit before she go to bed if she ain't already fell asleep, and decompress and get ready for training tomorrow and all that good stuff. So y'all have a wonderful evening. Thank you for your time. The ball is in your court. The cards are in your hands. If these trainers want your money and your time, then they got to prove themselves to you. So I'm not saying don't take their training, but what I am saying is you need to do some more due diligence to determine whether or not it's even worth the effort. It's that simple. All right, y'all have a good one. I need stamp inking training. I just did a little bit. Inking the stamp is easy. There is, I think I did a video on that. Hit me up. Shannon, hit me up. We'll get you taken care of. All right. Yeah, hit me up. There's my email. Hit me up, and we'll make it happen for you. All right. Give me a call sometime tomorrow if you want. We'll get you taken care of or this weekend. All right. Y'all be easy. Talk to y'all later. Peace.